What's up, Internet? My name's Sammy Fightmaster, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So last weekend, around September 4th, Netflix, and really a lot of other streaming services, dropped a lot of new things. So I'm slowly but surely working my way through everything, but I did just finish season 1 of the new Netflix original show, Away. Now this is Hilary Swank's new show on Netflix, which really, I think is the only actress that I have seen before that was in the show. Everybody was really good. I was really impressed with all of the acting skills of everybody that was in this show, which I feel like I shouldn't be at this point because Netflix has proved that they can pick some good actors. Anyways, this is a new space show from Netflix, which I was a little weary about because I don't like space. Space freaks me out. I was never a kid that wanted to be an astronaut. That was never in the cards for me. I just can't do space. I have no desire to go up into space, except for maybe this year. I'd do anything to get away from 2020. But anyways, this show is about the Pioneer space mission to Mars, which is led by American Commander Emma Green. And this journey to Mars is kind of a world collaborative mission to where several countries were involved in making this happen. So, rounding out Emma's team going to Mars is a Russian veteran astronaut named Misha, a Chinese chemist named Liu, an Indian co-pilot and medic named Ram, and a British botanist named Kwesi. Now, the show tries to balance its time between that very cool fantasy-like journey to Mars that's never happened before, and these are going to be the first people to actually get there and to live there, and also balance that with the very real drama and emotional issues that these astronauts' families are left to deal with on Earth. And that is especially true for Emma's family. Now, Emma, who is played by Hilary Swank, is the main character of this show. And so we do spend a lot of time focusing on her family that she has left behind and her relationship with them. She has left behind her NASA engineer husband, who was not medically cleared to go on this trip. They have both been trying to get on this trip to Mars their entire careers, but unfortunately he could not go. So he is left to parent their 15-year-old daughter alone. So that is very hard for Emma. Obviously, everybody on this trip to Mars has spent their entire lives trying to get to this point, and now it's here. But there are a lot of sacrifices that they had to make. There's a lot of people that they have to leave behind. So the show does focus on everything that they've left behind and how that affects not only the astronauts, who are going to be spending 3 years in space, but also their families. I will have to say this show gave me so much anxiety once they officially left for Mars and did their whole launch into space. Oh my gosh, the whole void of space and the emptiness, and every time that it was quiet because they're out in space and all this stuff, it gave me so much anxiety. Oh my goodness. But I kept pushing through the show because I really did like it. So at the beginning of this show, I didn't think I was going to like all of the characters that were presented to me, especially some that are on this spaceship, which is called the Atlas. And I thought, oh no, I'm not going to like these people. They're just going to annoy me the entire season. But I've got to give it to the writers of this show. There was some great character development going on throughout all 10 episodes. And by the end, I felt very emotionally invested in everybody and actually ended up liking most of the characters in the show. And the chemistry between all of the characters on the Atlas, those 5 astronauts there, was insane. It started off a little iffy, but as time grows, you're trapped in a tin can in space for a long time with these people, and you got to see how their relationship grew. You got to see some of the trials that they had to face with each other. And pretty much every episode of this show shows some issue that they have to face in space. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it works. I did like, though, each episode you kind of focus on a different astronaut and you get to see their backstory and how did they get this interest in space? What made them want to be on this trip to Mars? Who influenced them? How did their cultures influence them? So that was really cool aspects to see. I really liked seeing everybody's different backstories. They're all very, very different. And it definitely gives you a glimpse as to why everybody behaves the way that they do once they're in space. Now, this show came straight for the heartstrings in the first episode. And I feel like pretty early on in the first episode, I cried several times throughout this show. Didn't expect to at all, but they went for the drama very early on in this show to get you hooked. And it worked for me. That being said, there is a lot of melodrama in this show. Like, you've got to have your tensions with the people in space. You've got to have your issues with everybody being at home. And these parents, several of them are parents. And you've got to see how they're dealing with not being with their children. And everybody handles that differently. But there's a lot of drama involved. And some of the dramatic moments, they were all executed very well. But some of them felt very forced and like taken over the top. Especially I felt that way with Emma's daughter, Alexis. They call her Lex. Some of her scenes, she's a 15-year-old girl. And like, I understand for the writers, a 15-year-old girl whose mom is being shipped off to Mars is very uncharted storytelling waters. Like, there's a lot you can do with that. And there's obviously going to be a very big emotional impact on her daughter, but some of the dramatic things surrounding her, I didn't get why those specific things needed to happen. I'll be honest, Lex is a teenager. Her choices get a little iffy at times. She does develop. Everybody is constantly developing throughout the show, but there were several scenes kind of in like the middle episodes that I was like, this does not need to happen. And also, I felt like there was a lot of romance happening, which was weird since everybody was light years away from each other and there's still romance happening. I don't know how that works, but I guess it does. And there are some relationships that arise that I'm like, that is too forced. You don't need to do that. And you'll know when you get to it. There are just some things in the show that just felt too forced. Like, I felt like they could have played more on, honestly, just a show about space. You could have played more on that, less on the relationships. I honestly would have been okay with that. There was great acting in this show. I've already said that before. Netflix does a really great job with their casting. The chemistry was insane between all the astronauts. It was perfect, in my opinion. I'm going to give this show 4 stars because I did really like it. I honestly didn't expect to like it because it's a space show. And like I said, I'm terrified of space. But the acting level throughout this show and the issues that they tackled, it was about space, but not about space. And I really, really enjoyed that. There were some things that felt forced and that I think shouldn't have happened, that I think took away from like how great that the story could have been. So that is why it's getting 4 stars and not 5. If you have seen Away on Netflix, let me know your thoughts on it down below. If you have not seen it, I do suggest watching it. I thought it was a very good show. If you're like me and space is not your favorite thing in the world, still watch this show because it is good. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here, welcome to my channel. And I would really love and appreciate it if you would subscribe at the end of this video. And then after you subscribe, hit the bell off to the side to be notified when I post new videos. Well, that is all that I've got for you today. So I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.